All right, another day, another house. So we actually have about $3 million worth of not only acquisitions right now, but dispositions in my renovation business just this month, just this month alone. And now we're gonna go take a look at Time Capsule Grandma's house right here. And the outside looks great. I can't wait to see what the inside looks like. So much better. Grandma's house, all right. So this just, without all of the trash, this looks absolutely incredible. And you can actually hear an echo in here because we exposed the hardwood floors. We were able to remove all the junk, and now it looks crisp, it's bright, it's white, and it looks fantastic. We added these overhead can lights, so now we've got some light in here. So the other thing that jumps out to me right now is our color scheme. We got the white on white trim, really brightens the place up. Bright white colors is what makes the room feel bigger, even though we weren't adding any additional square footage or kind of moving any walls. So after a little bit of more research, after kind of consideration and pricing estimates, we decided to keep this wall where it is because one, it was just gonna be too expensive to move, and two, it was going to be a structural issue that we were going to pretty much open Pandora's box here and kind of go down that rabbit hole to where I just really wasn't comfortable with it. I didn't really want to allow it in the budget, and so we just kind of left it where it was. Based on the market research of the neighborhood, homeowners don't really care about the entire open concept, even though I do as a renovator and home flipper. It's just not something that they really care to have in their house. So we ended up keeping the original spiral staircase. We didn't really modernize that anyways because we wanted to keep some of the original aspects of the house.
We didn't really have another option. If we would have gotten rid of the staircase, the only way to get through the basement would have been through the garage, and that's just kind of an inconvenience for everybody, and it really kind of adds a retro piece to not only the vintage of the house, but the house itself. And it would have been more hassle than it was worth to remove it, so we just kept it, cleaned it up, tightened the rails, made it look good.
Here in the living room, really brightens the place up and kind of opens it without any clutter. We had all of that huge furniture here. There was the dining room table. Now, this is a really nice space that homeowners can have meals, they can create memories with, and they can really feel good about the house. So moving right along into the kitchen, there was just absolutely nothing that we could save here. We couldn't save the kitchen cabinets, the countertops, none of it. It all had to go, and we had to gut the entire place. So we have brand new white, bright kitchen cabinets, and we went with our signature light blue subway tile here, and then the quartz countertops with the black hardware. New flooring as well. And then one of the things that we took out of the original kitchen that we did not put back is that this entire wall had kitchen cabinets in it. So when you walked in the kitchen, it just felt really crammed right here, and you couldn't really have a lot of space to make it feel more open. So we ended up leaving all of this exposed, leaving it open.
Essentially, it was just overkill. And since we gutted the entire kitchen, we kind of had a blank canvas to work with. You had more prep space, you had more room to work.
So no expense was spared in this kitchen, and I think it really shows. The kitchen looks great. It's one of the main selling points of the house, and that's why it went under contract so quickly. And one value addition that we have started to implement in our houses is that we add these charger-specific USB ports. So this is one of the selling points of the house that not only adds a little bit of value to the house, but it's just more of a convenience factor that is in addition to everything else. It just adds and gives the emotional response to the buyer that we're looking for. So that's the kitchen. Could not be more pleased with how it turned out. And so now we're gonna go down the hall, and is the dishwasher running? Did I do that? Did you see that? Either we got grandma's ghost in here or I tipped that, but I don't think I remember feeling that. I didn't touch that, I swear.
I'm 90% sure this place has some sort of ghost or spirit living in it. There has just been quirks all over during this project that are just unexplainable, like the dishwasher turning on, or doors shutting, or lights flickering. This has never happened before.
House bath number 1. So this is a 3-bedroom, 3-bath house, and this is the hall bath that the hall bedrooms are going to be using, or anybody who comes over on the main level. So again, this is another area of the budget that we were not able to kind of skip out on or cut corners here. So this is all brand new everything: tub, shower, tile fixtures, and we've got our signature soap dish in here. We've got brand new vanities, new fixtures. Basically everything is brand new in here. So this is really another key selling point of the house. And we had a laundry chute here that goes down to the basement, but it's a very outdated feature, even though it is kind of convenient to just drop your laundry down there. Most houses now have the laundry room on the main level, so we didn't really want to highlight the fact that you still have to go downstairs. So we ended up covering everything up with brand new flooring, and again, it came out great, and I'm just super pleased with it. So we're gonna move down the hallway now. If you remember from the beginning, the before, this entire place was cluttered.
Boxes on boxes on boxes and more boxes of paper, files, filing cabinets. The entire office was just cluttered. There really wasn't any room to work, and I'm sure that office alone just took its own dumpster.
And it had these built-in shelves in here that really kind of pigeonholed it and made this specifically an office. And we don't want to limit buyers who don't need an office, or families that don't need an office. So we ended up removing all of the built-ins. You can still make this an office and you can configure it how you want, but we don't want to designate this specifically as one. So really cleaned it up and made it back into a bedroom with the closet and everything. And we're just gonna let the buyers choose. So moving down the hall, we've got the second bedroom down here. It's just, it's another bedroom. New flooring, paint, fixtures, same as the rest of the house. And now we're gonna move on to the master bedroom, which is right here. And again, this is the master because it has its own master bath. And so again, this is another piece of the house that we did not want to, we didn't want to cut any corners on, because the person who lives in the master bedroom is usually going to use the master bath, and they're also going to be typically the homeowner.
So every time that we renovate a house and it has a master bedroom with a master bath, we're going to put all of our focus and attention on those 2 items, because that is where the buyer of the house is going to stay. So we wanted to create the biggest emotional response possible.
All right, so let's go check out one of the worst areas of the house before we did the renovation, the outdoor patio.
There was tar on the walls. There was just a smoky smell. The bricks were uneven. It was really, it was kind of tragic. It was unusable, even though it was an outdoor kind of living space. We certainly had to do an overhaul if we were going to make that a selling point of the house.
It smells so laundry-like in here. There's just a really nice, fresh scent in here now, and we really had to do more labor in here than I was actually comfortable with, and a lot more work. It's a screened-in patio. It's got the storm windows in it, and there is potential to just enjoy the outside without being outside. All right, so now for one of the best parts of the house, the basement. Look at all of this space. Wow, this basement is huge. Look at this place. I mean, you could do anything down here. Now that you don't have a bar and you don't have a bunch of junk or old furniture and refrigerators, this place is amazing. And that is really one of the things that we wanted to kind of achieve with this space, is really make it a livable space, but also one that homeowners want to be in instead of just having it there. And that's really what we did with this basement. So the first thing that we did is we added a ton of new lighting in here, added 8 different can lights. So 8 lights in the ceiling, and we kind of finished the space off, removed that big clunky bar that was over here. I mean, you couldn't even walk down here pretty much without stepping on something. So now that the bar's gone, everything is removed. They have a blank canvas down here to do whatever they want with it, and they can really make this really a second living area because it's so large. All right, so this place looks beautiful, right? Down here in the basement, it's fully remodeled. Everything looks great. Well, scratch that. So this house is under contract, as I already mentioned earlier in the video. but we've already had the inspections. Now, if you look at this wall, one of the things that you cannot see with the naked eye is that this wall, it's got a very, very, very ever so slightly curve to it. And so the homeowner had the place inspected by a structural engineer, and they recommended that we actually do foundation work. So this is a very unfortunate situation because we're going to have to dip into that contingency expense that we budgeted for on the front end. But you know what? That's exactly why we have it, to plan for the unforeseen, because there is no way that I ever would have thought that this wall needs foundation work. And so what we're gonna have to do is add stabilizing beams, 5 or 6 of them throughout this wall. And we're gonna have to tear up the carpet, we're gonna have to tear up the ceiling, but again, that's why we have the contingency expense to plan for these unforeseen expenses. So, and very unfortunate, but I'm just glad that we were able to plan for it.
Everything was resolved, the buyer was happy, us as the seller was happy, so it was really kind of a win-win.
So before, on our initial walkthrough, we couldn't even get to this part of the basement. We couldn't really show anything on camera, but now we've got the entire space done, it's renovated, and there was actually, there's a bathroom in here, there's a half bathroom in here, and this is where really the utility room is. We've got our laundry hookups over here, we've got the sump pump, the sewage, the hot water heater, and the furnace. This really was a bathroom that just had hookups. The ceiling was kind of caving in or falling down, and it really just was not a space or a bathroom that could be used. And so we completely renovated the entire thing, made it a full 3-bed, 3-bathroom house. And now this is in addition to the living space on the other side of this wall, the finished basement. Now we've got a bathroom to use it down here instead of having to go back upstairs. So that's the entire second floor of the house. We got one more part of the house that I want to show you, and let's head up to it. The garage, it is finally a true 2-car garage. And now that we removed all of the big furniture, all of the piles of, again, junk, I think we had like 4 dumpsters worth of junk in here. But this was actually a weird part of the house, or part of the garage, because this was just gravel right here, and you couldn't really get a full car in here. So we had to pour all of this concrete right here and really make it a true 2-car garage. All right, guys, that's the house. It's done, it's finished. The renovation, I could not be more pleased with. And not only the renovation, but from a marketing and sales standpoint, that just goes to show you every house, every renovation we do is top notch. We get top dollar, we get the most amount of money possible because we do it right and we create the most value. And this is actually one of 7 renovations that we have going on right now, single family homes. And that is how high you can scale this business. Once you get to a certain point, you learn the systems and processes, and put them in place, and then you're able to replicate that over and over. So this house we purchased for $130,000. We put $45,000 worth of renovation into it, and we are under contract with a buyer for it for $235,000. So after closing costs and commissions and our holding costs, we stand to make a profit of almost $45,000 on this one house. So that just goes to show you we do everything right and we do it well.
So this house was under contract the first day it was on the market from an out-of-state buyer, and we got to the inspection phase and they were being really unreasonable with what they were asking for. And we always have a backup buyer in case the primary buyer becomes unreasonable. And so we went to the backup buyer and we said, hey, I don't think this contract is going to work out. Are you still interested in this house? They ended up agreeing, and their terms were a lot better. And so we were able to get out of the first contract and go with the second contract with our backup buyer. The house ended up closing for over asking price, and it was the highest comp in the neighborhood.
So that's it. We're gonna move on to the next house, but I'll save that one for another video.